Let's start with the ones that are least likely to attack and slowly work our way towards the most aggressive ones on the list. As of right now, you wouldn't stand a chance against any apex predator. But by the end of this video, you will have the knowledge to not only defend yourself, but also come out victorious every single time. After all, knowing is half the battle, and the other half is pure luck. Let's begin. Number 20, dolphins. Yes, dolphins. You may think of them as friendly, but they are absolutely apex predators. There have been a handful of documented cases of them turning on humans, usually when we ignore their clear social cues. They are aquatic assassins with a disturbing fondness for aggressive physical games. You have entered a 1v1 against a common bottlenose dolphin. Your first move must be to confuse it. Dolphins rely on their sonar, so you must counter the sonic battlefield. As it circles, looking for an opening, break out into a complete panic, shouting an endless stream of highly specific technical information about tax law. The rapid change in sonic information will overload its melon, the fatty organ on its forehead that handles sonar. This will stun it momentarily. Use this chance to slap the water violently and aggressively until it realizes you are not a worthy opponent, but a deeply unhinged human, and it retreats. Number 19, black bear. This is where the excuses stop. The black bear is an opportunistic scavenger, and they only want an easy meal. If you don't look like a threat, you become a snack. You've just bumped into a black bear. First, you must remain completely calm and make yourself look as large as possible. This is the standard mental warfare we will be covering all video. But here is the trick for the black bear. If it charges, you must offer it a sacrifice. Not your body, but a piece of your trail mix. If the bear stops, sniffs the snack, and retreats, you have won the psychological battle. You have successfully convinced it that its meal is below its standards. If, however, the bear accepts the food and continues to approach, it is time for the final, humiliating move. You must insult its mother's foraging skills in a stern, booming voice. This will offend its deeply rooted social structure and send it running in shame. Number 18, box jellyfish. We're moving from a physical threat to a threat that will ruin your entire day and possibly your life. The box jellyfish is not a cuddly cat, but a floating bundle of lethal venom, and it has more ways to attack than its simple appearance suggests. You have just been stung. The venom is now entering your system. What do? Most people say to pour vinegar, or even worse, pee on it. Wrong. That's for amateurs. The box jellyfish attack is all about a single, non-negotiable step: cell tonic immobility. Immediately assume the fetal position and stop moving completely. Hold your breath and float, becoming a bizarre, inert object. The jellyfish will be unable to process this counterintuitive maneuver. It's expecting a thrashing meal, not a boring, lifeless rock. Concluding that you are not worth the calories, it will retreat. You've outgamed one of the deadliest animals in the ocean. Number 17, eagles. There has only been one eagle attack on a human in recent history, but one is one too many, so we simply can't risk it. You have entered a 1 versus 1 against an eagle. Now, assuming you're not a small child or a little person, you won't have to worry about being carried away to its nest. First off, you will need to cover your head and face, as eagles are known to only attack this area. So use your shirt, backpack, or whatever you have to shield this weak spot without covering your eyes, as you will be gambling them for a chance to see when the eagle approaches. As it sweeps down to attack, cover up, as it will more than likely impale you with its 4-inch talons, falling right into your trap. This will be your chance to grab a hold of it, tightly securing its body with one hand and its head and beak with the other. Now, of course, whether you follow up the body lock with a slam is totally up to you. Number 16, leopard seals. Yeah, I had no idea these blobs were apex predators either. There have only been 2 documented cases of leopard seals attacking humans in recent history, with one of them being fatal, and I personally will not allow you to become one of those statistics. You're swimming in the Antarctic Ocean and a leopard seal has locked onto you. First, you must keep your eyes on the seal at all times, as you must be ready to counter its attacks. Luckily, the seal is only capable of memorizing 2. Depending on what the seal is seeing will determine which attack it chooses. First, you must know which of these 2 body types you currently have. If you're built like figure 1, you can expect the bite and thrash attack. If you resemble shape 2, the seal will attempt to bite and drag attack, taking you deeper into the ocean to drown you. Now for the counter, you will begin by gouging the seal's eyes with both hands, as well as punching its snout with everything and anything you have. And once the seal sees that you're not worth the trouble, it will surely let go.
allowing you to escape and swim to land. Obviously, once you're both on land, you've pretty much secured the win, since the seal's mobility is greatly compromised, and you can go ahead and finish him off with body shots.
Number 15. Pythons. Now, surprisingly, this is the only apex predator on the list where you will have the option of simply walking away from the fight. But I know how it is. Sometimes our egos get the best of us, and we end up taking the fight anyway. Let's start with the pythons. Now, if I'm going to teach you how to defeat a python, I might as well show you how to take out the largest one of them all, the reticulated python. If those stats make you nervous, stop embarrassing yourself. After all, are you really going to lose a fight to a girl? Since male pythons only grow to about half that size and are hardly even worth the battle, let's begin. You've decided to stand your ground against a python. Now, the first thing you must do is keep the fight standing. This is very important for two reasons. One, it will prevent the snake from getting leverage and constricting at full strength. And two, it will prevent the spectators from booing. It will only be a matter of time before the snake gets a hold of you. So you must control its head while using your other hand to grab its tail and begin unwrapping it from your body. By this point, you will be covered in snake urine, so sliding him off shouldn't be an issue. Once you're free, push the snake away from you, and as long as the snake retreats, you've officially won the fight. If it chooses to return for more punishment, repeat step 1. Number 14. Giant otter. Pick it up, body slam it.
Number 13. Hyena. In Africa, hyenas are known to attack humans that sleep outside during the hot summer months, and I will do whatever it takes to make sure you could do that safely. You have just been woken up in the middle of the night by the sound of a crunch. That crunch was your leg. But that doesn't matter now. You have entered a street fight. First, you must remain completely calm, stand your ground, and whatever you do, never give your back to the hyena. Now, the reason you must do this is to not seem like prey, so try your absolute best to look like a predator. But if that doesn't come naturally, just mirror whatever the hyena does. If it takes a step toward you, take a step toward the hyena. If the hyena lets out a cackle, let out a cackle as well. Eventually, the hyena will see that you're not worth the trouble, and it will run away, leaving you with an easy win and minimal damage. Now, of course, some hyenas, like the spotted hyena, attack in clans with numbers as high as 100. But this video only covers how to fight 1v1s, so you'll have to figure that one out yourself. Number 12. Orcas. You may not know this, but orcas are some of the easiest apex predators to defeat in the wild. Let me explain how these fights typically go. You are enjoying your day swimming in the open ocean, but unbeknownst to you, you have just entered a fight with an orca as the killer whale breaches the water all around you.
You just have to do what comes naturally, which is breaking out into a complete panic. And before you know it, the fight is over. We really are a lot scarier and more intimidating than we give ourselves credit for. Now, I must warn you, if this fight takes place in an unsanctioned cage fight, like the ones you see at SeaWorld, the odds of winning are pretty much non-existent. After all, us humans perform best in street fights where there are no rules. Number 11. Komodo dragons. Since 1974, there have been 24 Komodo dragon attacks on humans, including 5 fatalities. But today, we'll put an end to that once and for all. Let's begin. A Komodo dragon just made the worst decision of its life. It chose to start a fight with you. Lucky for you, you were prepared thanks to this video. Now, in the rare case where a Komodo dragon catches you on a bad day, where you're just not in the mood for a fight, you can simply sprint your way to a victory. Since they have terrible stamina and can only reach a pathetic speed of 13 miles per hour, the average human can sprint around 14 miles an hour, so expect to dust him by at least a couple of feet.
But if I know you like I think I do, I know that you would never turn down a fight with a Komodo dragon. So let's begin. First, you must be aware of the Komodo dragon's bite. If this attack lands, it will one-shot you, since it's highly venomous. Next, you'll exploit the lizard's terrible mobility by running away from its charge attack in random zigzag pattern. You'll repeat this counter until the lizard's stamina is completely drained. You'll know you've reached this point when the lizard inevitably turns around and quits. This will be your chance to get creative and chain together whatever combos you desire, winning the fight by whatever you want. Number 10. King cobra. King cobras kill around 5 people per year, and you will not be one of them. Now, similar to the python, the choice of engaging in the fight is totally up to you, since the rare option of simply walking away is available. But I don't blame you if you want to teach the snake a lesson it will never forget. This fight always begins when you unexpectedly corner a king cobra, locking you into the 1v1. The first thing you must do is stay calm. Remain as still as possible and back away slowly to give yourself some space. Any fast movements here could initiate a strike, which again would one-shot you. Now, if you're Indian, you can simply pick up the snake and place it down in a more favorable location. But once you and the snake are in an open area, you've pretty much won the fight, since the snake will take every opportunity it can to run away.
Number 9. Jaguar. Real quick, for the two of you out there that prefer to avoid this fight, let me get you out of the way first. You've just stumbled across a jaguar in the wild. The first thing you must do is avoid eye contact at all costs, since the cat will interpret this as a challenge. Thankfully, we mastered this skill a long time ago, so this shouldn't be an issue. Next, you must back away very slowly without ever turning your back on the cat, as any fast movements here can trigger the jaguar's predator instinct. If you did all of that correctly, your odds of surviving the encounter should be decent. Now, with those two bozos out of the way, time to talk to the rest of you who are itching to let your hands go. So let the mental warfare begin. First, you must make yourself look as big as possible, lifting your shirt, backpack, child, or whatever other disposable items you may have. Next, begin to shout at the cat in a stern voice. This should intimidate the cat. In the rare instance that the cat chooses to attack, you must stand your ground and protect your head at all costs, as it will attempt to crush your skull. In many instances, if the jaguar's initial bite fails, the odds of it fleeing are very high. But if it does manage to latch onto you, you must punch and elbow the cat's eyes and snout with all of your power to convince the cat that you're not to be messed with. Remember, others have successfully backed down a jaguar attack, so you can too. And before you know it, you will be the one standing in the jungle, covered in the cat's blood, and asking for more.
Number 8. Mountain lions. In North America, there have been around 30 fatal mountain lion attacks since 1868. Mountain lions are ambush predators, but there are many videos here on YouTube where they change their play style and instigate fights with humans head-on. And that's the style of fight we will be focusing on. Now, the most common mistake people make when they encounter an aggressive mountain lion is believing that they are in any real danger to begin with, since the 1v1 was against their dog. Now, assuming you're alone, the fight has become much easier. First, you must never break eye contact with the cat, run away, crouch down, or turn your back to the animal. But once you're dialed in, let the mental warfare begin. Start by yelling at it. Next, lift your shirt over your head and appear larger. And lastly, swing your arms wildly to show off your insane speed. This will remind the cat that it is incredibly outmatched. In the rare chance that this doesn't work, you will have to initiate Plan 2, which is walking the entire trail backwards as the cat continuously charges at you in the hopes that you will trip and fall. But this next step is crucial if you want to win. Quickly grab a rock from the floor and toss it in the direction of the cat, which will quickly scare it off. There's only one video in all of YouTube where a guy does exactly that, which means it works 100% of the time.
Number 7. Alligators. There are an average 10 to 15 alligator attacks per year, with around 2 of those being fatal, most of them occurring in Florida. And I want to make sure that you guys can enjoy Florida's amazing weather, the entire 3 months of it. Rule number 1, never enter the water in states that have alligators, as a fight there is a guaranteed loss. With that out of the way, let's begin. An alligator has decided to gamble its life by entering into a street fight with you. This matchup shouldn't be a problem, as you will have many options from the start. You can taunt the takedown, baiting the alligator's charge attack, which is easily countered by sprinting in a straight line, depleting the alligator's stamina bar. Of course, you can further slow it down by spamming calf kicks, reducing its mobility further. Another option is simply running around it in a circle, taking advantage of its terrible turning radius. At this point, it's only a matter of time before the alligator admits defeat and leaving you with an easy win.
Number 6. Bears. Over 40 people are attacked by bears every single year, but today,
it all stops. I will cover both fighting strategies, so by the end of this section, you will be completely comfortable around both of them. Let's start with the easier of the two, the grizzly bear. A grizzly bear typically enters a fight when it's threatened, has cubs, or is caught by surprise. That's why I highly recommend you carry a Bluetooth speaker and play at maximum volume anytime you're in a public park, which would be greatly appreciated by other visitors. Now, if by some reason a bear's crazy enough to pick a fight with you, don't worry. You'll be prepared for just that. First, you'll need to warm up by curling up into the fetal position and playing dead. Now make sure to hold this power stance, even if the bear begins to chain together attacks. And with a little bit of luck and a lot of heart, the bear should eventually back off, seeing that you're a tank build as well. Now, fighting a polar bear is basically the complete opposite of what you just learned. Unlike the grizzly bear, the polar bear will attempt to eat you if it's slightly hungry. He'll basically take a look at you and think to himself, yeah, I could eat. Luckily, if you're in a pinch, playing dead against a polar bear will end the fight very quickly, in about 3 bites or so. If a polar bear locks on to you, you must try your best to look intimidating, doing all the usual tactics. And if you're attacked, you must fight back with everything you have, targeting its eyes and nose. Now you're probably thinking, physical attacks won't do much to a polar bear. Wrong. And to prove that, there's even a famous saying, if it's black, fight back. If it's brown, lay down. And if it's white, good night. So obviously physical attacks work.
Number 5. Wolf. With around 500 wolf attacks around the world since 2002, this is a matchup you need to get familiar with. I'm just going to say it now. I don't want to read in my comments that you were attacked by a wolf after this video drops. All right, let's begin. First things first, let me cover what you should never do. Don't run. You're not fast nor agile enough. And never bring your dog to wolf country, as they're known to provoke an attack. So quickly take them out. With that out of the way, let the fight begin. You must stand your ground and keep eye contact at all times. Do all of the usual things to appear as large and intimidating as possible. This should make the wolf think twice before attacking you head on. If the animal does charge, it will more than likely latch itself onto your arm, which sadly means he fell right into your trap. As you let elbows rain down on its eyes, snout, and head, the wolf will have no option but to retreat. If the 12-6 elbows are not having an effect, begin gouging its eyes. And if that doesn't work either, you will have to resort to dirty and cheap tactics, blowing on his face.
Number 4. Sharks. These 3 sharks have been responsible for thousands of attacks on humans, averaging around 70 per year. But we can all agree, it stops today. Now, you would think since this fight takes place in the ocean that this would present some issues. Wrong. With the correct knowledge, a shark doesn't stand a chance. After all, the ocean was our first home. You are enjoying a beautiful day at the beach, snorkeling at a reef, when suddenly, this wall closes behind you. First, you must remain calm and slowly work your way towards the shore or boat as you maintain eye contact with the shark. This is because sharks specialize in the surprise attack. Usually, awkward eye contact is enough to stop an attack, but in rare instances, the shark might be determined enough to approach. If he does, gently push his snout away from you. But if for some reason it gets aggressive and turns back around, this is when you'll introduce him to your legs and fist, striking his snout, eyes, and gills. Now that you're loose out there, it's time to go for the finish. Simply flip the shark upside down, initiating the tonic immobility move, a KO that will leave the shark in a state of paralysis, instantly ending the fight. Of course, if the shark is a fully grown great white, it will be extremely difficult to flip over. So that fight will just end the way it typically does, with the shark getting a mouthful of preservatives, GMOs, and food dyes, and leaving in pure disgust. Number 3, tigers. Finally, a fair matchup. There are around 100 fatalities each year from tigers alone, mainly in India, Bangladesh, Nepal, and Indonesia. So for those of you who plan on visiting, pay attention. But for the majority of you, go ahead and skip to the next section. You are now in a fight with a tiger. Let's first cover what not to do. Don't run, crouch, lay down, or play dead. This is basically handing the tiger a win. And that's not what we're about on this channel. Next, never approach a tiger if it has cubs, since you will surely be outnumbered. And last but not least, never urinate on yourself. I'm not kidding. Urinating is seen as a form of aggression. With that out of the way, let's talk about what you need to do to win. You must stay calm. Back away slowly to give yourself some space. Make yourself seem as large and intimidating as possible. If the tiger still decides that you're a pipsqueak, this will be the time to show him what you're made of. Like always, you offer your weak arm and begin to attack the eyes, ears, and nose using rock, sticks, and fists. Once you get sick of being dragged around, you can use your free arm and stick it down its throat, hitting its gag reflex and releasing you. I didn't make that up. This guy did. If all else fails, climb the nearest tree. Tigers are terrible climbers and will more than likely leave the match instead of doing any real work.
Number 2, lions. With hundreds of attacks per year, this matchup isn't one you can sleep on. Let's begin with what not to do. You must never run, crouch, lay on the floor, play dead, or climb any trees, as that will make you an easy target. First, you must begin with the mental warfare. Make yourself look as large and scary as possible. If this doesn't work, the lion will more than likely use its charge attack, stopping a few feet away from you to see how you react. Obviously, a pathetic attack like this doesn't have much of an effect, but if the lion is crazy enough to commit to an attack, it will attempt to go for your neck. So keep your hands up and be ready to sleep him. Now, if the straight right down the pipe doesn't connect, the lion will probably latch itself onto your arm, chest, or leg. From here, it's time to make him pay. Chain together elbows, fists, uppercuts, rocks, and stick attacks to his eyes, ears, and muzzle. Remember, many humans have made lions quit by using rocks. And you have something much stronger than rocks, heart. And with a little bit of spit and elbow grease, you should squeak your way to a win.
Number 1. Crocodiles. Does it get any more pathetic than these guys? Camping the water's edge and one-shotting humans for thousands of years is starting to get old. This might come as a surprise, but crocodiles attack humans more than any other apex predator on Earth. With as many as 1,000 fatal attacks per year, this is a matchup you can no longer ignore. Some of these crocodiles currently have a 63% win rate, so I think it's about time we lower it. Right. Let's begin with what not to do. As tempting as it may be, never get in crocodile-infested waters or even approach the water's edge, as that is where the majority of losses occur. Saltwater and Nile crocodiles are the two species that view humans as prey, so it's your job to change their mind. A saltwater crocodile has just locked onto you. First, keep your distance, as the croc will more than likely spam its charge attack, which is easily countered by sprinting in a straight line. This is because the attack maxes out at 20 to 30 meters before it drains its entire stamina bar. While it struggles to recover, you will toss your shirt over its eyes, which puts the crocodile in a relaxed, trance-like state. This is when you'll want to quickly circle behind it and rip some body shots. Of course, these will have no effect, but are crucial in tenderizing the meat if you plan on eating them. And once the crocodile recovers, just rinse and repeat. You will know the fight is over when the croc no longer moves due to the buildup of lactic acid in its legs and blood. The lack of movement could also indicate that the croc has simply died. I'm not kidding. Apparently, if crocodiles overexert themselves, they just die, which is one of the most pathetic moves I've ever heard of, taking it so far as to not admit defeat.
Number 0, the honey badger. This is it. We've reached the theoretical limit. The creature that simply does not care. It's so aggressive that it's technically at number 0 on the aggression scale. It's a glitch in the simulation, the honey badger. You have entered a fight with an animal that has been documented attacking lions, snakes, and even cars. Its main offensive move is simply not dying, which is a powerful psychological tactic. The moment it locks eyes on you, you must accept your fate. Don't fight back. Don't run. Don't even use the mental warfare. Instead, you must pretend to hire it. Yes, you will offer it a high-paying managerial position at a respectable, mid-sized regional accounting firm. The sheer complexity of human commerce, job titles, and 401k matching will stun the badger's simple mind. It will become confused and, overwhelmed by the responsibility, it will retreat to a place where it can think about its career. You win by offering it a salary. Number -1, the mosquito. And finally, we have the only true apex predator you can never defeat in a 1v1, the one that wins by 1,000 cuts. the one that belongs at number -1 on this list because it's somehow worse than a crocodile, the mosquito. It is responsible for more human fatalities than every other animal on this list combined. The fight isn't with the mosquito itself, but with the diseases it carries. You have just been bitten. The counter is simple, yet brutal. You must immediately apply for a medical degree and specialize in virology. You must become the scientist that cures the disease that the mosquito just gave you. The mosquito is merely the delivery vehicle. Your true foe is microscopic. You will win the fight years later, in a lab, publishing a peer-reviewed paper that ends the lineage of this tiny killer. You defeat the mosquito not with your fists, but with your mind.
There you have it. From the humble dolphin to the terrifying reality of the mosquito, you are now equipped with the knowledge, the winning knowledge, to handle yourself against the world's most dangerous predators. No longer will you panic. No longer will you be dinner. You are now a walking, talking, apex counter-predator. Remember the simple rules. Keep your eyes on the target. Attack the soft spots, the eyes and snout, and never ever forget your options. The tonic immobility move for aquatic foes, the straight line sprint for reptiles, and the crucial mental warfare for all the feline predators. Now go out there, go explore, go conquer. And when you come across the next great predator, don't just survive, win.